Ask for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone that we serve, the alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness none are to be served, worship, or praise beside Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We like to take the time to say the brothers that extended the greetings, the brothers and sisters that extended the greetings, Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Harvey Shabazz extended the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. Sister Zakia Karim, Brother Calvin Shabazz, Brother Muhammad Salim Bey, and Brother Rahman and Sister Akila. Yes, thank you. And today, brothers and sisters, we're going to talk for a short time about which one will survive the War of Armageddon. And we want to talk about today because very recently was the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's acceptable in this generation to talk about Martin Luther King like, you know, he was a good leader for black people. And even Muslims today talk about Dr. King as if he was some good leader for black people. And what's so deceptive about the way that Muslims talk about Dr. King in this generation, because the messenger and Dr. King had a meeting. They had a meeting, I believe it was February of 1966. But from before February of 1966, the messenger used to blast Dr. King. It's just the facts. The cartoons that the Muhammad Speaks used to come out with, blasting Dr. King for years. Then they had the meeting in February. Then shortly after that meeting, the messenger continued to blast Dr. King. He never said anything favorable about Dr. King as a leader. Never. You cannot find a Muhammad Speaks newspaper. You can't find in the Fall of America. You can't find in any of the writings of the messenger where he talked about Dr. King as if he was a good leader for black people. But Muslims today, especially these NOI archivists, are real deceptive in the way they'll show a picture of the messenger with Dr. King. But they'll take the Muhammad Speaks newspaper where the messenger talking about Dr. King and have it on the picture frame on the wall. All of the Muhammad Speaks newspapers that came out for years where it's cartoons about Dr. King, is articles the messenger was writing about Dr. King, never talk about that, but show the picture. And now they say, you know, they didn't kill Dr. King because he had a dream. They killed him because he woke up. When did the messenger say that? And let's just use some examples. Because in April 29th, 1966, Muhammad Speaks newspaper, the title was Confusion of the World. And we see that in this Muhammad Speaks newspaper, this was a few months after the messenger met with Dr. King. This wasn't like this was a year. This was a few months. Because Dr. King had in Chicago what you could look up, it was called the War on Slums. And Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement came to Chicago and was acting like they wanted to fight a war on slums, black people living in rats and roach-infested apartment buildings. The messenger was mad about that. He talked about how Dr. King is from Atlanta. He said the black man in Atlanta living in rat and roach-infested apartments and homes. Like, why didn't Dr. King show us how he can fight the war on slums by fixing the problem of the black man in Atlanta? He said, why did he come to Chicago to help the black man fight the war on slums when I'm in Chicago? He didn't like that at all. And the article that he wrote against Dr. King, I couldn't find it. I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it. But this Muhammad Speaks newspaper, April 29, 1966. The cartoon that's under the title, you see the messenger has is politics, integration, false religion, and civil rights. And this all represents the world of confusion. Then you see the brother standing in what looks like a beam of light. And it says, history and Islam as taught by Elijah Muhammad. Now in 1966, everything that black people thought was the solution for the black man was politics, integration, false religion of Christianity, and civil rights. The messenger covered all that. But the only thing that he showed that was salvation for the black man was history and Islam as taught by Elijah Muhammad. All praises due to Allah. He didn't just say Islam, because that's another misinterpretation and misrepresentation that Muslims do for the messenger in this generation. They try to show these pictures of like when Muhammad Ali went overseas, he would get respect from the Orthodox Muslims overseas, so he would pray with them. So Muslims today will show a picture of Muhammad Ali praying overseas to give you the impression that the messenger want us to pray with Orthodox Muslims now. That's not a fact. The messenger had Muhammad Speaks newspaper articles against Orthodox Muslims. Many articles against, or you had Muslims who would write articles against Orthodox Muslims here in America, because Orthodox Muslims here in America used to disrespect the messenger. They would get on the radio. It was a Orthodox Muslim. His name was Hassan. I forget his first name, but his name was Hassan. And brother Yusuf Shah from Temple Number 2 wrote an article in defense of the messenger because this Orthodox Muslim was getting on the radio in Chicago blasting the messenger. So in that next previous Muhammad Speaks newspaper, Yusuf Shah and other Muslims was defending the messenger against this Orthodox, and the messenger wrote articles against them. He never said anything about he wanted Muslims to pray with no Orthodox Muslims. They had in Theology of Time, it was an Orthodox Muslim that came to the temple from the Sudan. I know he was from Ethiopia. The messenger said that, you know, he spoke of he was a imam or something, I forget. But the messenger introduced him to the believers. And he said that, well, the next time I'm in Ethiopia, he was like, I'm gonna come and visit your temple. But he said, once you get Islam from Master Farad Muhammad, he said, you're not too particular to hear Islam any other way. That's what the messenger said. He used to always talk about our Islam was the new Islam. He said that Islam, and the old world Islam, was ruled by the white man. He said the new world Islam is going to be ruled by the black man. All praise is due to Allah. The messenger made his point clear. And if you look at which one will survive the war of Armageddon? Which one? Everything, when the messenger talks about Islam and which one will survive the war of Armageddon, everything other than what he taught represents Christianity. If you are Afrocentric, you under Christianity, slavery, suffering, and death. If you represent black power with your black power fist in the air, you under Christianity. The only thing the messenger represented as salvation for the black man was Islam under his guidance. Islam under Master Farad Muhammad. That was the only salvation for black people. It's not nothing else. And if you read old Muhammad Speaks newspaper, the messenger made that plain. The one thing that I love about the messenger is that he was the messenger of Allah. And when he said a thing, he wasn't tiptoeing through the tulips with nobody. We could see, this is a picture of the messenger with these civil rights leaders. This brother right here is Robert Abernathy. This brother right here is Bernard Lee. This brother right here, his name is Jose Williams. And this brother right here is Andrew Young. Now, in today's Islam, they'll show you this picture and make you think that the messenger was down with these civil rights leaders. That's the new gimmick. Because you can't just look at a picture. You have to know the context of the picture. Then it's another picture of the messenger with Robert Abernathy again. It's the messenger and Sister Clara, Robert Abernathy and his wife. Now, if I was a smart, crooked deceiver, I could show you this picture and make it seem like we're supposed to be sympathizing with civil rights leaders. If I was a smart, crooked deceiver, because the messenger is with him. So, but what they failed to let people read is the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, where the messenger speaks against Robert Abernathy. Let's listen to what the messenger said about Robert Abernathy. The messenger says, because Reverend Robert Abernathy came into leadership after Martin Luther King was assassinated. That's when Robert Abernathy came into, like, he was another civil rights leader that replaced Dr. King. The messenger says, Reverend Martin Luther King got what he preached and asked for. He asked that no white blood be spilled. God gave him his desire. His blood was spilled, and not some blood of an innocent black person who was not preaching that. How great was Reverend Martin Luther King? How great is his successor, Robert Abernathy? He says, do you call such leaders great who lead you and your people to shame, disgrace, and death? If so, where are your brains? Say, where are you? Now, this was after Martin Luther King got killed. So he been going hard on Dr. King for all these years. He get killed and say he got what he preached, just like what he said about Malcolm X. Then he started talking about the replacement for Dr. King. But in today's Islam, Muslims don't represent that. When they talk about Dr. King, they don't say this about Dr. Martin Luther King. They say what the Lost Found say about Dr. King. You know, they going and celebrating his birthday too. But if you listen to what the messenger said about Dr. King, I mean, the Fall of America came out in 1974. Martin Luther King died in 1960. Go read what the messenger said about Dr. Martin Luther King and the Fall of America. He never said that Dr. King was a good leader for black. Never. The only thing he said about Dr. King was when they had their meeting, he said they had a good meeting. And he talked about how he enjoyed having Dr. Martin Luther King over his house. If you read the Muhammad Speaks newspaper with Martin Luther King in it. But he never said that he thought that Martin Luther King was a good leader. This is another cartoon that the messenger had in the Muhammad Speaks when Dr. King came for the war on slums. This was in that April 29th, 1966. You see how the messenger have this is a preacher standing next to the white man. And this is a white woman half naked in her in a mini skirt. And the devil telling the preacher, Reverend, don't I have a housing and slum clearance and rat control program for you? And then it showed Martin Luther King running out with rat and roach control killer. Then at the top it said it was Muhammad who came out with a 3-year program in 1964 to fight poverty and want among our people. Then he has at the bottom, Muhammad teaches better housing, eradication of slums, and schooling for the Negro. He wasn't just like, oh, you know, Martin Luther King, he doing good too. You know, he a good leader for black people. He don't just have a dream. He woke up after he had his meeting with me. This was after the meeting that Dr. King had with the messenger. But Muslims today say Dr. King woke up after he had the meeting with the messenger. Didn't never say that. These are just the facts. If you look at the facts of what was printed in it, that's why the messenger said the Muhammad Speaks newspaper is my best minister. That's what he said. He said that the Muhammad Speaks newspaper is the #1 program of the nation. Why? The cartoons was teaching. The back of the paper teaching. The messenger's articles teaching. All praise is due to Allah. What Islam has done for me is teaching. They had an article, Islam in Tuskegee. They had what is it called? Women in Islam. They had all kind of good articles that was teaching black people about Islam in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. And in today's Islam, with all of these Nation of Islam archivists and all of these people who trying to represent the messenger. They take the pictures of the messenger with these politicians or with these civil rights leaders, but they don't tell you what the messenger said about them. They take the Muhammad Speaks newspaper and put it on the wall. You shouldn't trust a Muslim that's not trying to push these old Muhammad Speaks newspapers that they have. You should not go to a Nation of Islam nothing if they got a Muhammad Speaks newspaper and it's on the wall. You shouldn't go nowhere if they got anything of the messenger that's in a case, or they got his FOI uniform hanging up somewhere. They're them fake Muslims that do that. Don't no real Muslim want nothing of the messenger hanging in no museum. Not going to no museum. Looking at nothing of the messenger. Why you ain't pushing this program? He didn't have nothing for us to put in no museum or put in no glass case. But that's what these Nation of Islam archivists do. And they sympathize with the lost found. They sympathize with Dr. King. They sympathize with the preacher. Go read what the messenger said about a preacher. The messenger said that the preacher is the worst enemy to the salvation of his people. And he said that for years. And he'll still have preachers come to him. And he would say it in there. One time, it was the Theology of Time, and the messenger said he wanted all of the preachers that came to stand up. And it was only a few preachers. He like, this is it? He was like, you got to come see me before I come see you. He was offended at the fact this all it come. The messenger was the man, and he represented himself like the man. I'm the messenger of Allah. And he told everybody what the messenger, or what Master Farad Muhammad told him to tell us. But, brothers and sisters, we won't prolong the time. I'll leave you as I came. In the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Brother Minister Khalil, Shabazz, on the other hand, you feel pretty good. Praise be to Allah. All praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, true and living God, we forever thank him for raising up in our midst a divine leader, teaching guide in the person of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. May the peace and blessings of Almighty God, Allah, ever be upon him. I'm truly grateful on his coming and blessing me to be a follower of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We as believers know that for sure that he's no longer with you and I in the physical form, but that what was given to him from Almighty God, Allah, who came in the person, Master Farad Muhammad, lived with you and I, the believers. And we're very fortunate to be followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, especially in this day and time. We're very blessed because we know that he was the last messenger of Allah. He was the divine messenger. And he was a divine messenger is not chosen by the people. They're chosen by God himself. And that makes him wiser than we are, because he was taught by the all-wise, true and living God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad for 3.5 years. We all know these things, but we have to keep in mind and stay focused on what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us. He said himself that there would be no other messenger. He said, I am the last one. There's no other messenger after me. He said, after me comes God himself. And we can bear witness that there is no other messenger. There's no other messenger. Nobody here today that you can look around and say they are the messenger. Nobody. Because Allah only chooses one. And that was the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we have to realize, brothers and sisters, and stay focused, because we say the 144,000. What do we mean by the 144,000? The messenger taught this is not the 144,000 after something. After everything is through, then here's the 144,000. No, don't mean that. We are the 144,000. That's us. We are the ones that is not afraid of the devil, who we know the white man is the devil. We are that 144,000. The one who is mindful of their duty. The one who will go out and implement the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We are that 144,000. We are the first, what they call, so-called Negro who accepted the truth from the white man, who has been ruled by the white man for over 400 years. We are that 144,000. We are the ones who committed ourselves to carry on the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We are the first fruits from the wicked that were redeemed from the wicked world of Satan. We are the ones. But the messenger is the first begotten of the dead. Now there's a difference between fruits. That means more. A fruit, you talk speaking of one. The messenger was the first begotten of the dead, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we have to get a good understanding on that 144,000. And that's us. Remember that. That's us. It's not after the destruction here you see 144. No, it's the first ones that recognize the truth. That's us. And we're the one that's carrying it on. So we're very fortunate to be followers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But we have to obey divine messages. It's very important that we obey divine messages. Our salvation depends on it, our obedience. See, the messenger taught us that Allah promised us heaven, money, good homes, peace of mind and contentment, friendships in all walks of life. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that. And we can receive that in this life. But we have to submit. That's the key. We have to submit to what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. Regardless of how it may sound, or how it may look like, or how you feel, or how I feel, we still have to submit to what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. And our success lies on submission, obedient to Almighty God Allah. He said he will sit us in heaven at once if we submit to him. So when we say submit to him, we're talking about the messenger. Because a belief in one and a disbelief in the other is a disbelief in both. So if we submit to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, that means that we submit to Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And it's very simple. For some people, it's simple. For some, it's not so simple. You know, so it's what you choose, how we choose. And we might choose the right way, and we might choose the wrong way. If we choose the wrong way, it's like you accept it or reject it. There's a penalty and a punishment for it. Islam is right and exact. And it's so much that we need to learn, all of us. And sometimes it comes with a hard price we have to pay sometimes. But when you get over the hump, so to speak, you have to stay over the hump. You have to keep working, keep striving to better yourself and to help implement the teachings and programs of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because that's what it's all about. It's not about me, you, nobody. It's about getting the dead. And we're very fortunate. We've been given an opportunity to let our light shine. That means let our work shine to receive the blessings from Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Just think about what's happening today. Our people are spinning the dancing like they got 1,000 years to go. And it's easy for you and I to get trapped because the devil was given authority to rule for 6,000 years. But we know, according to what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, that his time was up in 1914. But he was given an extension of time, what, on account of us. And because we had yet, it came into the knowledge of ourselves. The messenger had been teaching, he'd been blasting for years. Years before you and I was born. And the same teachings he taught today. It hadn't changed. People changed it. But what Allah taught him, it was sufficient. It didn't need no changes. It needed to be followed and obeyed. And once we do that, he rewards us with happiness and goodness and success. This is what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us to do. And we have to always keep Allah and his messenger out front, regardless of what the circumstance. Allah is the best knower. You know, he knows all. He has the power of all things, brothers and sisters. And He'll take a thing and make a bad thing, make a good thing out of it. That's how powerful and strong he is. He is the best knower. He know what he's doing. He chose the right one for you and I. That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Praise be to Allah. He never sold us out. He never sold us down the river. He never did that. And I come back to what Brother Minister was saying about Martin Luther King. I remember that. Remember that. And a lot of people say when he said he went to the mountaintop, yeah, he saw the mountain. Yeah, he went to the mountaintop. Right over there on Woodlawn. Yeah, that's the mountaintop. He got schooled on what was going on, and white folks didn't like it. Oh, they didn't like that because they know Dr. King said, yeah, I've been to the mountaintop. Yeah, you sure did. Right over there on Woodlawn. Talk to the messenger, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They didn't like that. Oh, so we're very important. What the messenger say? They'll try to kill anybody, even their own, if they try to do something for black people. If you try to help a black man, they will kill you if you are one of their own. See? So we know we got all this from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He schooled us and taught us what we need to know to go for ourselves. So these kind of things, we have to love each other. That's the bottom line. And it's all of us, starts from our heart. It's what's in our heart that shines, what tells a person about you and I. We radiate what's in our heart and what's in our mind, how we thinking. And the messenger taught us to love for your black brother and sister that what you love for yourself. See? Just that alone. Love for your black brothers and sisters that what you love for yourself. Now, what do you love for yourself? Have the same love for your black brother and sister that you have for yourself. And this thing will keep us in tune and in line with each other, with respect and loving each other. You know, so we have to understand these things. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you to work together. You know, you don't have to like me. That's okay. That's all long as Allah like me. That's okay. But then again, a lot of times you see after a while you begin to like me. You see what I'm saying? So these kind of things, all that comes in the being. See, so we all human beings. We all followers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You don't belong to me. I don't belong to you. We belong to the messenger. So these are the kind of things. But we obey and try to do what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. Sometimes if we don't, we fall short. But the messenger say, oh, sometimes you walk right on out and fall down on your face with some other flaw. So these kind of things, that's not an excuse, but it makes us better. It makes you better. You don't do the same thing twice. That's right. You know, you got to keep working and striving, you know, because we all fall short. Sometimes fall short of money. That's all the time. You short of money. They show you how to put the job that the messenger had. But he was successful. He succeeded. We may not see, it's in this 144,000. See? That's us. See? And the messenger said how the devil will use this woman. That's his last trick. To go at the 144,000. The black, that's us. See? And that's what he gonna do. The messenger said he used it. He tried to trick Moses and Samson. That's us. Moses, the messenger did work was likened to Moses. His work was likened to Moses. So that's us. So he was given that. So we can see how all over this TV, everything, how he portrayed this woman in front of you and I. Not just us, but Sam talking about the whole black man, all of the whole nation is what he's doing. See? And he's been successful thus far. That's right. See? But our people don't realize that the black woman is the queen mother of civilization. They don't understand that. They don't know what it is. The black man is the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet of God, of the universe. Our brothers and sisters don't know that. But once they get an understanding on who they are, who the messenger was, and Allah is, we can save them. We can help them. That should be foremost on our minds. To go after the dead like the messenger of Allah came to seek and to save that which was lost. He found only one from among us to teach us. That's none other than Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He came all the way to save us, to get a messenger, to save us. So we have to do the same. We have to have the same objective, to go out and get our lost found brothers and sisters. That's what it's about. That's all it's about. That's the bottom line. To get the dead and to Be obedient to Almighty God, Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Because we must still make a decision just on what God who we're going to serve. It's just that simple. And if we look around, the messenger said that America is falling at a fast pace. And you can see where this government, this whole government, is built upon corruption. It's corrupt. The white man civilization is corrupt. And it's right there in Washington, D.C. This is the calamity and chastisement that Allah is putting on these people, the white man. Because they disagree to live with in peace right in the White House. They can't even get along. These are heads of state. Can't get along. They confused. Then this message said, Allah will go confuse them. He said he's going to confuse the head of states. And that's exactly what he's doing. If you look at the news, you can see they can't get along. They disagreeable to live with in peace. They're not doing, this administration, they say hadn't passed not one legislation they passed, not one. In 1 year they hadn't passed, not one. They fighting among themselves. All praise due to Allah, that get them off us. See, that's what Allah do. He get them fighting among themselves and leave us alone. See, so this is the power of Allah. See, so we gradually moving. We making success. We are successful. See, but we have to believe and trust in Allah. And He will back us up if we right. He said that He will sit us in heaven at once. And the greatest heaven on the believing, on His believing, man and woman, is a peace of mind and contentment. That's one of the greatest heavens that you can have, a peace of mind and contentment, man. A peace of mind and contentment? Oh, bro, he ever felt like that one time? He, like I said, all the time, he comes in and goes, like you've been blissed for a minute. A peace of mind, it happens. Oh, it's just a fake sound. No, that light, I'll put it better than that. Light. Light travels way faster than sound. What, 186,000 miles per second? That's how sound travels. A light, 120 feet per second is sound. That light, we feel that little thing just like that. It's a fleeting moment. Whoop, then it's gone. But you will feel it. See, that's like a believer can be sitting right next to each other. One can be in heaven, one can be in hell. So that feeling that you have, that we have, if it's bliss and good, you feel that. But the one in hell can't feel it. But you're sitting right there. You burn it up. I mean, that's the hell within us. But that happens. But the message say, in the Holy Quran backs me, hell don't last forever. It don't last forever. See, you know, like you said, that the devil told us, the white man, we going to heaven, we gonna be happy, we're gonna live forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. No more worry, you're gonna live forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It's the old earth here. You can't outlay this. It's been here for trillions of years. You look around, you're trillion years, you can't outlay this earth. No, you don't have that. We just live. He said he promised us the abundance of life. If we submit to him, we live a long time, and we live through our offspring. But we don't live forever. No, we don't live forever. No. But the point is, when we submit ourselves, Allah blesses us with life. But there's always something, we can't get something for nothing in Islam. Not under the guidance leadership of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We have to work for it. Whatever it is. Our salvation, we have to work for it. How to eat to live, we have to work for it. All these things we have to work for. So that letting us know there ain't no spook. We build a nation. We have to work for it. We have to work and build it. See? But when we leave, it's going to be who's coming after us. It goes on down, and then again it might come. You don't know when it might come. It might be here. No, you know. So you know. But the thing is, live a good life. You know, life of a righteous Muslim, and do the thing that will please Allah. And we go a long way. We have come a long way. We are successful. There's a lot of jealousy, but that's how it is. See, jealousy, it destroys within. That's what jealousy does. It's one of the root causes of evil, jealousy. And that was put in us. You know, that was put in us. Jealousy. Trying to hate each other, fight one another. And then he always going to be the peacemaker. He always comes in, he start trouble, and then he come in and try to decide and make what's what. That's the devil. You go by and study and go by, he behind it. If you look at what happened when they throw him out of heaven, if they sat around, the wise of them sat around and say, hey, wait a minute, all this trouble is coming. Where is trouble coming from? Say, wait a minute, hold on. Then we just had them white folks. Some of them down there. Let's go check them out. Come find out that's where the trouble caught at. That's where the trouble started. So when you get down and you go to checking and searching, you can find it. If Allah with us. So we just have to understand things may not seem like we're successful. But we are. We are. We just have to trust in Allah and keep moving. See, he's the best knower. You don't know what he has in store for you and I. But I pray Allah that he use me to the good of the goodness. Be no hypocrite. I don't be no hypocrite. Use me like you want. I don't be no hypocrite. I don't worry about being a hypocrite because he turn you to that what you turn yourself to. So this is how hypocrites come in. They don't believe. They come in believing, going out disbelieving. So these are the kind of things we have to really, and be hard on the hypocrite, he said. That's what the messenger said. He said, strive hard against it. Fight them with truth. Standpoint to prove my position. This is what he said. And that's what he did. He fought against them. Number two was full of them. But it didn't stop him, did it? They got out of there before he did. They left out of there before he did. And he was successful. His mission was successful. He got it, the knowledge and wisdom and understanding to us, to the black people. Now it's on them. Praise be to Allah. It's on us now. It's on us now to accept it. He did his job. For 44 years, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that Allah is God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and the white man is the devil. He said he always will be the devil, and don't you ever forget it. So now he didn't say it. It's not on him. His mission was complete. He was successful. So he did his job. His teaching's still here. Ain't going nowhere. It's going to strive. That's it. It's beginning to roll. Because they dropping. These leaders is dropping. Messenger said they die out. You don't see no more. They just die out. They die. What happened back there? They died. You look at all of them dying. Got right on out the way. Islam steady moving. See? So we're very fortunate. We have to trust and have faith and confidence in Almighty God Allah, who came to the person of Master Farad Muhammad. I don't care what else happened. Allah is the God, regardless of what go on. He knows what's happening. He knows how they think, what they thinking, when they thinking. He knows when they plan. See? When they plan, he plans. We have to understand that. And he's the best of planners. Praise be to Allah. He's the best planner on all this, on everything. See? So we're very fortunate because we had a leader and teacher. He didn't go wrong. We was given, we could either accept it or reject it. We can be thankful or unthankful or ungrateful, either way. But the best thing is to be thankful and grateful. See, because just think, where will you be? Where will you and I would be at today? If it was not for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, where would you be at today? Where would I be at today? Have we ever thought about that? We'd probably been long gone if we didn't have a messenger to teach us and try to wake us up. We'd have been long gone. So we give all praise and thanks to Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. We have laws, rules, and regulations that we must abide by. That's the bottom line. I go for me and anybody else. It's a law. We're obligated to say our prayers. We must say our prayers. At least 5 prayers. We got to do this. We must do this. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. But if you don't do it, you're disobedient. There's a punishment you bring on yourself, or I bring on myself, by not saying our prayers at the prescribed time. If we can say our prayers at the prescribed time. Some of us can't say our prayers at the prescribed time because our jobs interfere with it sometimes. But we're given an opportunity to make them up. That's a mercy. That's Allah's want ease for you and I. Just think now. If you're working afternoons or something, you can't say your prayer. You're not supposed to say your prayer on the job, in the bathroom like you see them Arabs. They be all in the bathroom. People doing everything in there, and they down up saying their prayers. It's nuts. See, we don't do that. See, these kind of things, all outdoors. I be selling paper. Brother over there on the other side, well, that's his thing. But just show how we do it. That's he all over on the other side of the bridge, on with a rug on there saying his prayers. People walking all around smoking and throwing bottles and cans there. He down there saying his prayers. So that show you the messengers got us off our knees. See, he got us off our. We don't do that. So we got a chance to make them up. That's a mercy. Just think if he said no, just do it. You be in trouble. You be in trouble. But he knows he's a merciful God. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Because we need some mercy. I know I do. See, I want some mercy. I need mercy. Merciful God. He's so merciful, brothers and sisters. Thankful, graceful. Hope he keep blessing us. If I get some blessing, I hope you get some. No, I don't want all for myself. No, that's selfish. Hope you get blessed too. I want you to have a little blessing, just like I had. You can say, man, Allah blessing you. I say, yeah, he's blessing me too. See, a thing like that, that's how it is. That's how the God, he's merciful to you and I. And we have to show him by being obedient to his messenger. And it takes work sometimes. It takes hard work and dedication. Because the devil has so much out in front of you and I. And he's after our children. He's after us. And he said the message said, if you're not careful, he get the very elect. That's you and I. We have to be real careful and don't get hung up like it can't happen to you. Or he can't get you. Or he can. If you let him. If you stop saying your prayers, stop doing the things that we should normally do, you open yourself up to that. So we all see prayer combats all these different kind of things. But it has to be sincere prayer that combats all these things that make our little pathway a little clear for you and I, so we can hurdle these things that come at us. You know how those meters come at you? You got to hurdle them and get out the way. But we don't want to be no shooting star. Go through the orbit fast. You see how you see them all the time, no shooting stars. You out of orbit. See, once we get out of orbit, we're shooting star. We're going to burn up sooner or later down the line. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow. We still that shooting star. So you see the shooting star, we call them flying through, they go through quick, and then they burn out because they got out of orbit. As long as they was in orbit, they're all right. So we can get out of orbit. Start saying our prayers, you get out of orbit. Because it's going to affect you. That's why it's obligated. We're obligated to say our prayers. We must say them 5 prayers. See? We must. He says, the other one you say 7 times. He didn't obligate us to do that, but we was obligated to say them 5. See? When they said that mark, that the Arabs had that mark on their forehead and saying their prayers, they getting down there bumping their head or something, whatever they're doing, on the floor. You can tell it. See? But you can tell the followers of the messenger, they say by ablution. By ablution. You can tell the righteous. Ain't that something? I don't know how you can tell it, but you say you can tell it. Yeah, you can tell it. Or another thing, yeah, you can tell it if you say in your prayer, you're in good spirit. That might be one of the ways. I don't know, but it's you can tell it. If he said you can tell it, you can tell it.
That's right.
I just do it.
That's right.
I ain't got to worry about how I just do it. And then if you can tell it, praise be to Allah. If you can't tell it, praise be to Allah. I know I did what I'm supposed to do. Allah knows. So that's the bottom line. You can tell it, it don't make a difference. But nevertheless, he gave us an understanding on what it is. Prayer is very important. It gives us that spirit, the messenger say. It gives us that power to move. Prayer. You don't talk about it enough. Prayer. 5 prayers. Say your prayers. See? The messenger say what? It's like gas in your tank, in your car. You need gas. I don't care how pretty your car is. You got no gas and it ain't going nowhere. See? And if you run out of gas, you start running out of gas and letting you know. Start sputtering. Then you might start and go, then you sputter. Running out of gas. So what you got to do? You got to put some fuel in it. What you got to do to yourself? You got to put some spark. You got to put some fire in yourself. Prayer give you that power to move. Then we moving in good spirit. See? Even so much you can use the pilot light. Pilot light lights all what's around him. Everything around him, he lights it up. He's fine. This was the message. His teaching lit us up. Those who wanted it. This is what makes Islam so good under the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Period. You have to want it. If you don't want it, that's okay. It's independent. We're not hurting it. It don't have to have you or me. It's all by itself. Whoever accepts it, they radiate. Whoever rejects it, they're going to fall by the wayside. That's how the teachers of the messenger. You don't have to want it. I mean, you don't have to accept it. It's you're not. Ain't nobody mad. Nobody get mad at you. Want to do something to you. That's okay. You don't want it. Praise be to Allah. May Allah bless you and all your undertakings. Maybe give you understanding on down the road. That's how that go. It ain't no. It's not like that. The messenger didn't do that. Messenger didn't beg nobody. He said, now you gonna accept it or you gonna reject it. See, that's how it is now. He used to give. He was saying about, and it's true. You can't give meat to a baby. You know. He's referring to us. We know we can't give no meat to no little baby there, literally a little baby. But he was referring to us. Give too much, you might choke them. See? Give them too much, they think they can know. And they don't know. It happened like that. So then he went on to say after that, well, just have to choke over it. Just got to get it now. They're going to accept it or reject it. I ain't wasting no time with you. You're just going to have to do it. And that's what it is today. You can accept it or you can reject it. I don't mean for it to sound. It may sound a little bad, but that's just how it is. That go for me and that man. When I walk through that door, that brother up there, I'll never get it. Brother Jack 2X. This is Jack 2X. He's up there teaching. I'll never get it. He said it. You accept it or reject it. Ain't no difference. And the saying behind the white man, we take everything the white man say. We never question him, but we question the messenger. The white man said Christianity was your religion. You didn't question him. I'm looking at this. Thinking about it. The brothers around, because I wasn't the only one except that day. A lot of them did. And same teaching. Ain't no different it is today than it was yesterday. It's the same teachings. So we know that Allah is with us. We know that we got the protection from Almighty God Allah. We got the protection. He's going to protect us as long as we submit to His will. We have to submit to His will, brothers and sisters. That's the only way that we're going to be successful in anything that we do if we follow the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because He can tell us nothing wrong. We have to make this decision. We know that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said, I represent God in person. That's what he said. He represents God in person, the true and living God that He gave you and I to believe in, for us to believe in, because we all believe in the spook at one time. We believe that we will come back from a physical death. And our people today is in that same condition. Believe that you go down in the grave and rot and come back. You know, you don't come back after physical death. We don't come back after physical death. Once we die physically, that's it. We all dead mentally. We know this. We hear this over and over again. But we have to continue to hear. The messenger taught the same teachings for 44 years. He didn't change it. It was simple. He simplified it. Allah's God came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was his last. I am the last and greatest messenger. The white man is the devil. Christianity is a slave-making religion. It's not your religion. He taught that right from the beginning on here now to today. He's not here, but we're here. Right. See? And we implement it and carrying it right on like he taught it, because we know it's a life-giving teachings. Right. Because how do we know? It saved us. It's got us out of the mud. So now we have to think the same way for our brothers and sisters to get them out of the mud. And in the meantime, clean up ourselves and devise ourselves of the devil's habits, because he's around. His presence. He done dropped that egg or that seed, and it's out there. It'll catch up with you. See, with you and I. So we have to understand these things and love each other, and be a brother to a brother and a sister to a sister. And we know that this 144,000. It said that I got it down. It said that the number 144,000 will be made up of all the so-called Negroes. And this is what the father, Yaqub, told his people on the island of Pelon, Patmos, that what they expect at the end of that time. But he saw himself, the messenger said, that Yaqub saw himself, that in that 144,000 there wasn't a devil, wasn't a white man in there. This is what the messenger said. Wasn't a white man in there out of this 144,000. So now, he told him, that's your end. You won't see the hereafter. Names with Bear, Jones, Roundtree, Mitchell, Johnson, Jackson, Woods, they won't see the hereafter. Muhammad, Musin, Biar, Omar, Shabazz, Sharif, all those names of God. We will see the hereafter. What you said, 99 names? So that goes to show you and I, we said about that 144,000, we are the brave ones that's willing to carry this message to our people. So don't think that destruction, if we hear after the power of thought of white man's rule has been broken, destruction, just 144,000. No. That's the first fruits. There's a whole lot. You don't know, that's just what happened, but the messenger said prophets don't lie. He said prophets don't lie. But the point is, that's the first fruits, the Negroes, so-called Negroes, that 144,000. What you do is you get to read it. Read it for yourself. And you get a good understanding, because I sure got one. I thought it was a little different. So I pray all out of shed. I thought it was a little different. See? That just goes to show you, if you go and you read and you try and open up and go see what the messenger say, you'll learn something. Every time you'll see something, the better your understanding. And when we better our understanding, that makes us good Muslims. That make us obedient Muslims. That make us want to be obedient. See? To be a good Muslim and to study and try to see and understand what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad had said and what he was talking about. You'd be surprised how you would say, man, I didn't know that. Man, I thought it was this way. I thought it was like that. But see, that's okay. You're learning. You're reaching. You're trying. You're seeking. Jesus said, seeking ye shall find. And that's true. And once you start trying to learn the teaching of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you get an understanding, you get that desire to dig deeper. You get that, you want to hurry up. And someone said, man, you hurry and try to get the answer for that. Then you go and you try to get another answer. And then Allah just showers you, just open up your mind, and you dig deeper and deeper, and you become better. That's the name of the game. Because the better understanding we have, the better Muslims we be. It's that simple. So we're very fortunate, brothers and sisters, to be followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we know that he represents God. He represents God. So we're very fortunate to be a follower of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, especially in this day and time, because we can be out there and get caught up. We have to make this decision. And we know that this is the day of decision. So even now, in our everyday going to and fro, we're making a decision. We're being tried. There's a whole lot of things that pops up and comes up that we have to make a decision. If it's right or wrong, we still have to make the decision. And if our heart's right, this is the thing, our heart's right, Allah knows he helps us. He blesses us. If our heart's not right, he's not going to bless you and I. See? That's why it's very important. I say it again, it's very important to keep up your prayer. To keep up our prayer. Because that's what's going to get up. It's prayer. It's what they say, a refreshment. If you read the prayer service, it's a long one, but read the prayer service. And you will understand and see how blessed you are. and how blessed we are to have a God who's well able to protect you and I. We should all want to pray to this God as many times as we can, because we need his help constantly, 24/7, just not for 5, 24/7. We need his protection every day, every minute. We need it. This minute, something could go wrong in this 1 minute. Something go wrong. It don't take long of setting up something. It can a minute. It's like an accident. You could be driving down the street, boom, accident happens just like that. You don't even know, somebody hit you from the wrong side. Before you even know it, it happened. Bang, you right in it. And it's like that here. All this money, all this dope, all these different kind of things that's going on out here today. Where they after. They making reefer legal now. You can go in the store. I never thought I'd see the day like this. Go in the store, liquor store, wherever it is, and get some weed. You can buy some weed. That's dope. You buy that stuff and smoke it and get crazy. They putting all kind of stuff on it. All kind of stuff. And it's dead out here. You go right in there and buy a nickel bag of weed, a 25-cent bag of weed, whatever they want to buy, $5, $10 bag of weed. Go, and they got cookie, they got what, chocolate chip weed, they got all kind of weed. They had this guy out there in California somewhere out there had it in big jars and had names on it. You can go up there, you can smoke it and you even got cookies, chocolate chip cookies. You can eat the cookies and get high. That devil stuff, man. Give me a bag of them chocolate chips. You know, and get high. Peppermint. Tastes like peppermint. You're going to eat you 3, 4 cookies, you high on a kite. See? These kind of things. And that's how he want us.
That's right.
High.
That's right.
But he can just do what he want to do.
That's right.
Yeah, them niggas high. Give him that bag, Joe. You smoking, eating, everything else. Ain't doing nothing. You don't want nothing but a joint. These kind of things. So we have to say our prayers. Don't think you won't get caught up. So strong. Oh, you don't be no strong. You stronger when Allah with you.
That's right.
Yeah, you stronger when Allah with you. You might be a little strong here and there and that, but you stronger when the God with you. Yeah, you strong then. See, our little thing, we think we strong. We get fall down there 2 minutes, we done fail. Reaching up. No, however you want to reach. You know, the first thing is reach up. You think, no, just reach out. Not reach up. Ain't nothing up. We reach out. We reach out for Allah. See? So we're very fortunate, brothers and sisters, to be followers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And don't think for 1 minute that we're not making success. We're not making progress. We are making progress. And we have to keep making progress. And Allah will bless us if we keep in mind to treat everybody right. Even the devil. We treat him right. So I thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Praise be to Allah. Sister Rashida, glad to see you. Yeah, glad to see you, Sister Rashida. Glad to see you. Did you get it, Sister Lydia? Okay, good. She know it was fundos. She knew what it was. Oh, come on, man.
Brother and sister, where I should pray. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone do we serve, and the alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, guide us on the right path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness and none deserve to be served, worship, or praise beside Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our true servant and last apostle. Amen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.